And as such, it has to be set free first, or primarily. This does not mean that everybody else is going to get left out. This is an all-inclusive global effort. We got to concentrate on this here to get these squirrels that are supposedly running things or in charge back under control. You got to grab that mojammer and stuff it back in the cage and lock the door. Quite simply, we have inmates running the asylum, and they came close to winning. They got stopped on 5 different occasions in different ways, doing different things that would have caused the ruination of the planet. Now, that's real simple sounding. What happens when all the currencies would go to zero? That was one of the things they were going to do. And that's only one of. There are many. There's a lot of suffering and a lot of angst and a lot of extremism that's going to have to be done away with. It's going to have to be seen to. The suffering has to quit. Medical services, food, water, clean water, not just water, clean water. We got cities right here in the States and Indian reservations that have got water that's illegal. That's all they got. There's a bunch of things need to be fixed. As we start fixing these things here, in terms of getting ourselves set free, and start working on this, that, and the other thing, if anyone out there in any foreign country thinks they're going to be ignored or left out of that process, you're wrong. We have to first get our ship of state floating again. Then we have to be able to take honest-to-God leadership and project that. The only way to do that is to have a foundation from which to project it. That's why the states come in first. Secondly, everybody, all of Europe, Africa, South America, specifically those countries and those locations in most desperate need. Starving people, on a world of plenty, give me a break. Feed the people back to health. Make sure that they get the health care necessary to bring them back to help them get back to health. In the meantime, teach everybody that is able-bodied how to farm. And I'm not talking about the classical horse shit that they do here, because that's not farming. They have no till farming. It's an organic process that Mother Nature uses that we finally figured out how to do. So, when you can raise plants for foodstuffs and not have to use any chemicals, that's worth a bunch. They put Monsanto and 3M and Bayer and a bunch of these other mothers out of business. When you understand that the herb of the field, that's something that everybody can grow on their windowsill, can cure the diseases they want to charge you the rest of your life for, Big Pharma goes down too. The crooks, criminals, and problematic entities are not needed. So in order to get rid of that, you have to first rectify some of the things that are problems that are supposedly in charge of everybody. That could be a federal law or whatever. Get those things under control. Then the country can actually start doing something. Back in the day, and I'm talking about way back, America was so prosperous and so morally driven that they would take and send the military into a country. What can we do? You need a school, you need a house, you need a floor in your house, you need food to eat, that sort of thing. Big brother saying, here, man, why would you give that? That's charity. No, it ain't. You get to pay it back. If that's the way you feel about it, then ain't no problem. It's a loan. Oh, really? Yeah. Why? My credit's good enough that I can eat? Absolutely. No person should be denied the dignity of being a human being in any way, shape, or form. specifically for the asinine, ridiculous reasons of color, national origin, belief system. Forget all that. And I mean that. Forget it. The Arabs in Israel have been trading beans long before Israel ever existed. Palestine and all of that, Syria. I mean, all of these countries that have been used as war zones, practice fields for our militaries. I mean, how many countries have bombed Syria? Think about it. I mean, and who was invited and who was told no? So far, Russia's the only one that's been invited officially. Okay? I don't agree with that dingleberry that's in charge of Syria any more than anybody else in their right mind would. But you can deal with a dinglebat. You can deal with the insanity to an extent. And for the ideology of peaceful relations, they're willing to go along with the program. Well, the program is simple. Peace, rebuild, replant your crops, etc. The idea that any entity or country has the right to denigrate or destroy a people. The United States did it to the Indians. Israel's trying to do it to the Palestinians. I mean, Israel, park your bulldozers, cut the crap. Netanyahu, quit acting like a nutcase and act like somebody who's a real leader. Palestine, forget all that horse hockey of shooting rockets. Cut the crap. How about you get your lands restored if you quit it? Think about it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you got all rights, but you go back to tending the goat herds where you used to, where it has been being done for thousands of years, seeing to the Grove of Olives. I mean, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. When you trade, really, seriously, literally trade the combination of respect and treating someone humanely, things change drastically, immediately. I will almost guarantee you that if Palestine started being restored, the bombings and the horse hockey quit, that the, quote, terrorists, activists, nutcases with the rockets would soon be taken care of by their own people. We don't want you doing that because they bomb the crap out of us whenever you do that. You're going to quit it. The people then do their own laundry. They clean their own house. And the ideology then foments, grows, that it don't matter. You can still treat people like a decent human being. And everybody gets a lot happier that way. And when people start understanding that and applying it, a lot of people understand it, then Yahweh understands it. We're defending ourselves. Horse shit. A true defense would be what I've described, not the militaristic crap that you're pulling. So, where do we start? Where do we stop? Well, some groups, Boko Haram, as an example in Africa, may need to be rooted out and killed to the last man. Depends on what they really are. It depends on how much they have to do what they're doing as to whether they survive or not. And you take all of the people that can wield a gun and say, Boko Haram's over there, let's go get them. And you take the whole population of 3 or 4 nations, Boko Haram don't stand a chance. I'm telling you. These problems can be addressed. I don't like the idea of having to do that, but I'm only using that as an example. Some people right here in our own country are going to fight us. They will pull a gun on you if you say it's time to leave your office, you're under arrest. They'll pull a gun on you in a heartbeat, and they'll use it. They won't hesitate. Thing is, I'm a lot faster on the draw than people think, and I'm a lot more accurate in my shooting, and I don't hesitate at all. And I need some people that are similar in terms of wanting to have the righteousness of true justice on a level playing field for everybody. That's what the Constitution is supposed to be all about. So there you go. There's my speech.
Yes.
Next.
Very good. This, to the original question, this show is kind of based in the United States. The foundation is for and by, that I've been asked to head up, is for and by the United States. But that doesn't mean to say that there's things not ongoing around the world. I've explained earlier, there's funding, the same level of funding has already gone out to some regions of Africa and also South America. The problem we have, as most of us that are on the internet, it's mainly the Western world, is that we've got all the criminality. And so it has to be done in such a manner whereby there's not panic to the people, and certain things can't be done because they'll get stolen or switched and prevented from taking place. But there's each and every country is currently being swept. Some have already done it, but unfortunately for us in the Western world, we're the countries that house these criminality. And once we clean our own house, and each individual country cleans their own house with the aid of all the help from around the world, and we can get things moving a lot more quickly. So, no, you're not left out. Far from that. This show is based in the US. The foundation is mainly North America, but there will be foundations going on all over the world. That's the idea of it. The plan being fluid. Is ascension, mass arrests and financial reset still on the cards for this year, or has it been extended? I understand if time frames cannot be given, but a little hope would be nice, as we're still wading through huge amounts of horse hockey.
Yeah, well, basically, as I get it, there's a whole bunch of plans going forward. And when I say a bunch, I mean a lot more than a handful. These plans are of a very basic type. They're very, actually overly simplified in terms of expressing them, in terms of activating them. And the problem with that is that there's no defense. It's like walking up to somebody that you need to hit, whatever that is. And when you hit them, you don't make contact, but you feel like you just punched a brick wall. I know that analogy sounds kind of strange and weird and crazy, but what has happened is that instead of making a sudden stop, like let's say a car hitting a bridge or something of that nature, the brakes are slowly being applied in a whole bunch of places. Right now there's somewhere in the neighborhood of 150, 200 different activities that I'm aware of. And that'll give you an idea of how busy I get. And these activities are designed in such a manner to allow people to be free of the problems, criminality, whatever you want to call it, corruption, that we've had to deal with in the past. As these things go forward, they act something like the old experiment with mousetraps and ping pong balls in a room. The idea of that was to show how a nuclear device goes off when you create an explosion or a reaction. You drop in one, it hits one. Then those two hit one each more. In other words, it basically doubles or multiplies as it goes. It's called the snowball effect. And as these things begin to move, the manner in which they move is the key. They're very simplistic, and nobody sees them coming. Bingo. All of a sudden, people go, "What the hell? I thought I was in charge." Nah, the janitor's been in charge for 6 months, man. You didn't know that? And that's